This morning you locked your door. You didn't think about it. Twist, click, done. But here's the thing. For 290,000 years, that gesture meant absolutely nothing. No doors, no keys, no locks. And this is the part nobody talks about. No burglars either. So what happened when an ancient human left home? Could someone steal their house? Squat their cave? The answer is a story about you, about everything you own, and about an invention so perfect, it's still inside your front door right now. Here's the uncomfortable truth. For most of human history, there was no home to rob. Humans were nomads. Everything you owned, you carried. A few tools, skins, fire-making stones. Your entire house weighed less than your backpack today. Packing for a move took about 4 minutes. When the group moved on, they simply left. The camp wasn't property, it was a parking spot. And stealing? Think about it. Everyone around you owns the same things you do. A stranger's spear is not better than yours. There's no jewelry store, no TV to grab. Worse, stealing from your own group was suicide. In a band of 30 people, everyone knows everything. Get caught taking someone's tools, and you're exiled, alone, in a world with lions. Exile wasn't a punishment, it was a death sentence with extra steps. So, for hundreds of thousands of years, humanity's security system wasn't a lock. It was each other. The tribe was the alarm. And then, about 12,000 years ago, humans made one decision that broke everything. They planted a seed and stayed. Agriculture. Suddenly, humans had something history had never seen before, a pile of stuff worth taking. A granary full of wheat is months of survival, sitting in one place, impossible to carry away when you sleep. Property was born, and about 11 seconds later, so was theft. Turns out, the someone else has more than me feeling is older than writing. Now look at this. Çatalhöyük in modern Turkey, 9,000 years old. One of humanity's first towns. And it has a security design so radical, nobody has dared repeat it since. No streets, no front doors, at all. Houses packed wall against wall, and you entered your home through a hole in the roof, by ladder. Leaving home? Pull the ladder up. That's it. Your house is now a sealed box. The whole town, seen from outside, was one giant windowless wall. 9,000 years before the security camera, humans invented the gated community. And it worked. Archaeologists digging Çatalhöyük find almost no weapons of war, no fortifications, no signs of raids. The roof was the lock. But roofs and ladders don't scale. Cities were coming. Strangers were coming. Humanity needed something new. A door that could tell the difference between you and everyone else. Around 4,000 years ago, between Mesopotamia and Egypt, someone invented an object so clever it should be in every museum, the wooden pin lock. Here's how it worked. Inside the door bolt, small wooden pins that drop by gravity into holes, freezing the bolt shut. The key? A wooden toothbrush the size of your forearm, with pegs matching the pins exactly. Slide it in, lift. Every pin rises to the perfect height, and the bolt slides free. Wrong key, wrong peg heights. The pins stay down, the door stays shut. And these keys were not small. Egyptian keys could be half a meter long, so heavy that people carried them over the shoulder. Walking through town with your key on your shoulder became a statement. I am someone. I own a door worth locking. 3,000 years before the sports car, the flex already had a shape. Now here's the part that should give you chills. Open your front door lock today. Pin tumblers, lifted to a precise height by the teeth of your key. It is the same idea. 4,000 years old, still guarding your home tonight. Some inventions get improved. This one just got smaller. But notice what the lock really changed. For the first time in history, Security didn't depend on people, on the tribe, the neighbors, the watchman. It depended on an object. Keys became status. In ancient Rome, wealthy citizens wore their keys as rings, jewelry that said, "I own things worth stealing." Roman brides received the keys of the house on their wedding day. Being handed the keys was the ceremony. And losing your keys? Some things about being human have simply never improved. Yes, the flex is also 4,000 years old. And here's the part that will truly break your modern brain. Before locks, a stranger at your door wasn't a threat to protect against. He was sacred. Across almost every ancient culture, the same unwritten law. A traveler who reaches your camp gets food, water, a place by the fire. No questions, no payment. Ancient hospitality made modern customer service look hostile. Why? Because in a world without hotels, police, or maps, everyone would someday be the stranger. Hospitality wasn't kindness, it was insurance, the oldest insurance policy on Earth. Turning away a traveler was one of the most shameful acts imaginable. In some cultures, the gods themselves were said to visit disguised as beggars, just to test you. Slamming your door on the wrong beggar could get very, very complicated. The Greeks even had a word for this sacred bond, xenia, guest friendship. It's the engine of half their mythology. The Trojan War, the biggest story of the ancient world, starts with a guest, Paris, violating xenia by stealing from his host. And in the Odyssey, you can tell heroes from monsters by one single test: how they treat a stranger at their door. The good ones feed you before asking your name. The Cyclops eats you. For the ancients, your door policy wasn't a preference. It was your soul made visible. So notice what the lock really replaced. Not just the raised ladder. It replaced a whole world where safety came from openness, from being someone nobody wanted to rob in a web where everyone owed everyone. The lock didn't just keep strangers out. It quietly ended the age where strangers were, by default, guests. Think about that tonight when someone knocks and your first instinct is suspicion. That instinct is young, barely a few thousand years old. The welcome is 300,000. 20,000 years before the first lock, humans had already installed the first alarm, the dog. A dog hears what you can't, smells who approaches, and broadcasts the alert for free. Every dog barking at your delivery guy today is running software older than agriculture. The threat assessment module was never updated. That's the charm. And the tribe? Still here too. Neighbors watching your house on vacation. The village group chat. Security cameras you check for each other. And between the ancient lock and your door, one more invention deserves a minute: the night watchman. For centuries, every European city locked itself like a giant house. At sunset, a bell rang, the curfew. The city gates closed. Watchmen walked the streets with lamps, calling out the hours, checking doors one by one. The English word curfew comes from the French couvre-feu, cover your fire, because the watchman's other job was making sure nobody burned the city down in their sleep. An entire profession invented so that everyone else could close their eyes. When police forces appeared, the watchmen faded away. But listen closely to a patrol car rolling slowly through your street at 2 in the morning, and you can still hear them. 290,000 years of history compressed. From "we own nothing" to "pull up the ladder" to "trust the object" to whatever your door looks like now. And here's the final proof nothing really changed. That feeling when you're 2 streets away. Did I lock the door? That anxiety is not about your lock. It's the ancient brain doing what it did around the fire, checking that the tribe is safe. Psychologists call it a checking loop. Your mind replaying the gesture because the stakes feel ancient. And they are. For most of history, the unsecured camp meant death before morning. Your brain never got the memo that you now live in an apartment with insurance. So it sends the old signal anyway. A little jolt of the Stone Age on your way to work. And notice, you never check once, you check twice. Because the first check reassures the modern you, and the second one reassures the caveman. Some software never gets an update either. So tonight, when you turn that key, twist, click, remember what's actually in your hand. 12,000 years of property, 9,000 years of architecture, 4,000 years of the same brilliant idea unchanged. One tiny gesture, an entire civilization inside it.